They said Filipinos couldn't compete with China's tech until this happened. It sounded impossible, right? A small country like the Philippines going up against one of the world's biggest technology powerhouses. For decades, China has been known for its massive factories, endless supply chains, and dominance in electronics, while the Philippines was seen as a service-based country, known for call centers, overseas workers, and manufacturing support, but never as a serious tech competitor. But something changed. A quiet storm began brewing in the islands, a mix of determination, young talent, and opportunity that no one saw coming, and what happened next shocked the entire region. Stay with me, because this story is proof that even when the world counts you out, if you have the right mix of skill and heart, you can change the game forever. For years, the global tech world revolved around one name: China. From smartphones to electric cars and microchips, China built the image of being unstoppable. Every gadget had parts made there. Every tech company wanted a piece of its manufacturing power. So when anyone mentioned the Philippines in the same sentence as high technology, people laughed. Some said Filipinos are great workers but not innovators. Others said we didn't have the resources or education to compete. But they were wrong. Dead wrong. The truth is, the Philippines already had a foundation. People just didn't notice it. The country was producing semiconductors, quietly contributing parts that power laptops, cars, and mobile phones all over the world. In fact, the semiconductor and electronics industry already made up over half of the country's exports, but most of these products were assembly and testing roles, not design or innovation. So yes, the Philippines was in the game, but only on the sidelines. That was about to change. Around the early 2020s, something big started happening. The world realized that depending too much on China was risky. Global companies started searching for other countries to build factories and share production. They called it the China Plus One strategy, meaning find one more reliable partner besides China. And when they looked around Southeast Asia, one name kept showing up again and again: the Philippines. You see, the Philippines had something special. A young, tech-savvy, English-speaking workforce, millions of college graduates every year, eager to work in IT, electronics, and engineering. And unlike in some countries, the Filipino work ethic stood out. Honest, hardworking, adaptable, quick learners. These qualities caught the attention of global investors. Fast forward to now, and the Philippines isn't just assembling parts anymore. It's starting to build its own tech identity. But let's rewind to the moment that really changed everything. In 2024, the United States and several allied nations started partnering with the Philippines to strengthen their semiconductor supply chains. A high-level meeting led to billions in potential investments. New policies were created to make the country more attractive for tech companies: tax cuts, industrial zones, renewable energy programs, training centers for engineers. It was a complete shift from service economy to manufacturing and innovation economy. And what about China? China was watching closely. Because for years, the Philippines relied heavily on Chinese products, from gadgets to telecoms. Even parts of the digital infrastructure were powered by Chinese companies. But now the Philippines started opening its doors to global partners from the US, Japan, Korea, and Europe. They brought in advanced machinery and training opportunities. Suddenly, the world saw that this small island nation could rise in the tech race. If you're enjoying this story and want to see how Filipinos are changing global technology, make sure to subscribe and share this video right now. Don't miss the second half, because what happened next proved that the Philippines is no longer the underdog. Now let's talk about how the people themselves made it happen. Because government policies can help, but it's the people who drive real change. Young Filipino engineers started getting hired by global tech firms. Companies like Texas Instruments, Analog Devices, and Integrated Microelectronics set up massive facilities inside the country. Filipino teams began handling research, testing, and even chip design. These are high-level skills that used to be exclusive to China or Taiwan. Now they're being done in Cavite, Laguna, Cebu, and Batangas. The Philippine Semiconductor and Electronics Industries Foundation reported that the sector now employs more than 3 million Filipinos and continues to grow every year. But the most surprising part isn't just about numbers, it's about pride. For the first time in a long time, young Filipinos realized they could be part of something big. They could innovate, build machines, and create technology that powers the world. It wasn't just about earning a paycheck, it was about building a nation that the world respects. The story of Filipino tech is the story of believing that you belong in the race, even when the odds are against you. Let's paint the picture. China's factories still dominate with scale, but the Philippines competes with speed, adaptability, and creativity. Where China builds mega plants with tens of thousands of workers, the Philippines builds smart facilities with lean teams using automation and precision tech. Filipino engineers found ways to do more with less, producing high-quality components at lower costs. That efficiency started catching attention from companies that once relied only on China. Another turning point came when the digital economy exploded. Startups in Manila and Cebu began creating apps and digital tools used across Asia. Fintech, agriculture tech, e-commerce, logistics, artificial intelligence, and even robotics began to take root in local universities. The government launched innovation hubs while private companies funded research labs. Some Filipino startups even began competing in global tech contests and winning, proving that creativity here isn't lacking. It just needed the right support. And while all this was happening, global headlines began shifting. Suddenly, articles were asking, could the Philippines be Asia's next tech hub? Analysts who once dismissed the country started highlighting its potential. Some compared the Philippines' rise to how Vietnam transformed in manufacturing. Others said it could become the Silicon Islands of Asia. Let's not sugarcoat it, though. The challenges are still real. Power costs are high, infrastructure needs upgrades, bureaucracy can slow progress. But the momentum is undeniable. More investors are coming more. Filipinos are joining tech careers more. Schools are offering engineering and AI programs. The spark is already lit. By 2025, the Philippine semiconductor market alone was valued at over $6 billion and is expected to reach nearly $10 billion by 2030. That's massive growth for a country once considered just a service provider. This success is also inspiring neighboring countries because it shows that you don't have to be big like China to make a big impact. You just have to be smart, strategic, and united. And there's something deeper here too. The rise of Filipino tech isn't just about economics, it's about identity. For too long, people saw Filipinos as helpers abroad or workers supporting foreign companies. Now they're seeing something new. Creators, inventors, problem solvers building technology that connects the world. When you realize that the same hands assembling phones are now designing chips inside them, that's transformation. But why did people ever doubt the Philippines? The answer is simple. They underestimated the power of resilience. Every time Filipinos face adversity, they adapt. They learn fast and find a way forward. And that's exactly what's happening now in the tech world. While others were busy doubting, Filipinos were busy building quietly, steadily, until the results became too big to ignore. If you've made it this far and you believe in the Filipino spirit, tap that like button, subscribe, and share this video so more people can learn about this new chapter in history. Because this is not just a story about technology. It's a story about hope, pride, and the power of believing in yourself. Now let's talk about how this story impacts the future. China is still the tech giant, no question, but the landscape is changing fast. The Philippines is building trust with global partners, diversifying trade and upgrading skills. Every new factory, every new data center, every Filipino engineer trained abroad adds another piece to the puzzle. It's no longer a question of if the Philippines can compete. It's now about how far it can go. Experts predict that by 2030, the country could become one of Asia's top 5 semiconductor producers with specialization in chip packaging and testing. It might sound technical, but it basically means more jobs, higher salaries, and better technology inside the country. This also means the Philippines will play a critical role in the devices the world uses daily: phones, cars, computers, satellites, everything. And beyond chips, there's software, AI, and digital innovation. Filipino programmers and startup founders are beginning to gain recognition. Worldwide, apps made in the Philippines are now being used by companies in Singapore, Japan, and the Middle East. Big universities are partnering with Google and Microsoft to train young coders in AI and cloud computing. The new generation isn't waiting for opportunity, they're creating it. In 2010, no one would have imagined that the Philippines could stand next to China in any tech conversation. But in 2025, it's happening. Slowly but surely, the Philippines is carving its name on the map, and the secret behind it all. People, passion, perseverance. That's the Filipino formula. So when they said Filipinos couldn't compete with China's tech, maybe they were right back then, but not anymore. Because now the Philippines is part of the global tech story, and it's only getting started. From the factories of Laguna to the innovation labs in Cebu, from students building robots in Davao to engineers designing circuits in Batangas, the spirit is alive. This is a story that proves one thing. Size doesn't define strength, determination does. And when a nation of dreamers comes together, the impossible becomes reality. So remember, the next time someone says the Philippines can't keep up, tell them to look again, because they said Filipinos couldn't compete with China's tech until this happened, and now the world is watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so more people can discover the untold story of how the Philippines is shaping the future of global technology and inspiring millions to believe that no dream is too far when you have the courage to try.